Ralph Strangis and Joe Nieuwendyk. And Joe, you were there with us the other night. You're Mike's friend. You were his teammate. Yuri and Marty also had big evenings. Describe your feelings that night watching the event.
Well, like everybody else, I mean, those guys are my friends, and to be a part of that was something special. I think everybody in the building felt it. I've had people from around the hockey world email and call and say what an incredible sight that was, and well, you had to be there to believe it. It was kind of surreal, but those guys have been so much to the franchise over the last, well, in Mike's case, 2 decades, but the other guys a decade and a half and a decade, and it was really fitting, and I'm happy that they were able to enjoy that moment with the fans.
As we look back on this season, it's disappointing that the Stars aren't going to make the playoffs, but what are some of the bright spots and bright players that you've looked at and say, you know what, we're okay and we're going to build going forward from here? Well,
I think first of all, you're right. There's no worse feeling in hockey than not going to the playoffs. That's what you play for all year and you strive for, and you know, this franchise is awfully proud, and they've raised the bar time and time again, so I understand how disappointing it is. There's many challenges ahead, no question. Obviously ownership issues. We have players getting on in age and at the end of their careers, and you know, have big decisions to make that way. You know, some of the things that I have and when the dust settles, we'll reflect on a lot of the positives that you mentioned. Some guys had some career highs, Stephen Ott and Louis Eriksson in points. Jamie Benn, he came out of nowhere to be a consistent player for us all year. So there's an awful lot of good pieces. I think Kari Lehtinen has shown that he can certainly return to the form that made him the 2nd pick overall in the 2002 draft. So I think when the dust settles and we get over all the emotion here, that I'm going to feel really excited about the job ahead.
Tough game tonight, coming off of that one the other night.
Well, I think everybody in our entire on the entire plane is a little deflated after what everyone experienced the other night. You don't get opportunities too many times in your career to witness something like that, and for the guys behind the bench there, you know, to be a part of that, young kids, for them to see that, a kid we called up for the minors, Aaron Gagnon and Philip Larson, for them to be a part of that, it must have been a thrill.
I just kept thinking about Larson. How'd you like that to be your first NHL game?
yeah. But you know, more importantly, though, I think for everybody involved to see the importance of those guys and what they've meant to the franchise, and just the pride that I certainly felt the other night. Proud to be a Dallas Star, and I think everybody in the building felt that, and that's what I remember as a player when I played here. That pride that I felt, and it returned the other night.
All right, and we're building toward new good days for the Dallas Stars with Stars General Manager Joe Nieuwendyk. Stars and the Wild, second period coming up from the X.